Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside the Scarecrow, Sean Cody. That could have been a great nickname for you back in the day. Sean always brings it for Halloween. I was worried about you, man. You know, Halloween falls on a Friday this year. I didn't know, we can go after, before, but you're always ready.
Celebrate the whole week, Jordan. Family tradition.
Our quarterback, Cody Kessler, and the head coach, Lincoln Riley. USC's head coach interview is presented by I Trust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Coach, the annual tradition where you have to try and take Sean seriously as he asks you questions dressed up. Where would you rank the Scarecrow among Sean's costumes you've seen over the years?
He always brings it, but this might be my biggest test. This is it.
He's got Coach. The hat. He's ready for the cornfields. We're headed to Nebraska. He's ready for the Wicked sequel coming out in November. It has it all for sure. Coach, thank you as always for joining us. You're coming off a bye week. How was this bye week? Did you treat it any differently than the other bye week? You now have a sort of a 5-game sprint to the finish.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to set up really for the stretch run. So yeah, I think it definitely felt different. We had a few things in terms of how we practiced, who we practiced, kind of how we attacked the week that were a little bit different. But obviously, you kind of take stock of where you're at, and we sit right now, 3-1, and arguably the best conference in the country, and a stretch run with a lot of things in front of us, and it's time to go play our best ball. And so this week was really dedicated to that, cleaning up everything we felt like that we needed to clean up, put the reps into the guys that need it. We've had a pretty physical stretch. We've had 2 big boy games here in the last couple of weeks, and so definitely tried to get a couple of guys healthy, and so the guys are fresh and ready to go.
Coach, interested in the running back room. You had a couple big injuries this year, and King Miller and Brian Jackson stepped up last game. How did you use the bye week to maybe, if not just rest, but get those guys ready for the final push of the season?
Yeah, those guys from a health standpoint are in a good position. So really, it was just pumping reps into those guys. With obviously not having, Eli and Wayman right now, it was a chance to really kind of dive into it, to give those guys a ton of reps, to let them try to really get in sync with our offensive line. I think for the running back room, it was less about rest and more about just, all right, you guys are going to be the guys here for a little bit, and so we've got to really invest in you guys, get you guys comfortable, and we dedicated a lot of snaps to those guys throughout the week.
Coach, we're just over the halfway point so far this season. How would you evaluate Jaden Mava's performance so far this year in his first full year as a starter?
Yeah, he's largely playing very well.
Yeah.
He continues to grow with every situation that he's in, every game that he's in. He continues to give our team opportunities to win. Every time the guys touch the field for us as a USC Trojan, we've had a chance to win the game.
Yeah.
And he always gives us a chance to win. That's one of the things I really love about him as a player. And again, he's just continuing to improve, as time goes on. So largely, very pleased with him. But this is, just like for the team, this will be an important run for him, right? This is the stretch. This is when you should play your best. These are the most important games. This is kind of, you work all year, you work all the way through the first half of the season to try to position yourself to be able to go make a run, in the month of November. That's what championship football is about. So, here we are, here he is, and now it's time to step up and go play our best.
Yeah, staying with Mava, he's been so good this season. He's the Big Ten's leading passer. We always talk about quarterbacks in their decision making when it comes to, when to throw and when not to, and making sure they take care of the ball. But in this new age, they're also making decisions constantly on running plays. When you've evaluated him, do you feel that he's pulling it when he should be, not pulling it when he shouldn't be? What have you seen in looking at him in the run game?
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas he's improved the most. It's not something, as you mentioned, that gets talked a lot about when you talk about quarterback play, but last year for him, it was just handing it off and occasionally pulling it, and now he really, I think, understands from a big picture now, like what we're doing, when do we want you to be aggressive and potentially pull a ball or throw a bubble screen, and when not to. And he's just asserted himself, and he's been very clean there. And that's something we spent a lot of time on in the offseason, was just his understanding of what we're doing. And with that, his decision-making has been really good. So, he continues to make decisions at a high level. Even even last week in the Notre Dame game, I mean, decision-making was really good. He had one just really unusually poor throw for him on the ball over the middle where we had about 4 yards of separation on the guy. Would have been a massive play, which is just threw a bad ball. And then, at the end, obviously, we were at a point we had to score twice. I mean, we had to be pretty aggressive. And honestly, you go back and look at the tape, that was actually a pretty good decision, too. He just didn't get quite enough on it, and the conditions may have had a little bit to do with it. So, the guy is just making a lot of right decisions right now. And he keeps doing that. We're going to keep having a chance to win every game.
Coach, Jacoby Lane, kind of injured in the beginning of the season a little bit, didn't really get a chance to work. Makai kind of filled in and kind of carried the weight. Now, after last game, he's kind of looks like he's at full speed, full strength. You got both those guys. How important is to have both those weapons on the field for how you envision the offense running?
Yeah, it'll be important for us, here down the stretch. I mean, he obviously missed some time there, and then even coming back, even like against Michigan was pretty rusty. Yep. And it's not, as you guys know, it's not just the game time you miss, it's the practice time, and multiple weeks there where there was very little he could do in practice. And that it doesn't matter how much you've played or how much experience you have. Like, that's going to show up, and it has. I thought he was a little bit sharper last week against Notre Dame, and he, obviously this bye week was good. He's plenty fresh from the time he missed, so this was another good chance to kind of sharpen him back up because, he's certainly a big weapon right now. And, having him and Makai on the field, especially with – some of the running backs down and all of that it is important. It makes us tougher to defend, no question.
Coach, sticking with wide receivers, another guy I want to talk about is Tanuk Hines, and he stepped up sometimes this year. You can tell pretty early when a guy has that it factor and when he's going to be good, and especially playing quarterback. I've been around a lot of receivers. He has that, and he has the potential to be a really good one. What's impressed you the most about your freshman receiver?
Just that he's kind of been ready.
Yeah.
He's never – the moments never really seemed too big for him, and you could see just, I think, the confidence, we have in him as a staff, Jaden right off the bat's ripping balls to him, right there in some of these big games. I mean, and he's stepping up and making a lot of the plays, and I think his confidence is just growing and growing. But yeah, he's kind of got a throwback mentality. He's a grinder. He's a really tough physical player. I've been really impressed with the job he's done learning our stuff, especially with him not being here. In spring, he's handled it well, and obviously has a lot of physical gifts. So, he's helping us right now. You would expect him to play his best ball this season, and then, he's obviously, you look ahead and think this guy could have a great career here.
Yeah.
You're listening to head coach Lincoln Riley on Trojans Live. You're headed back out onto the road, a difficult road atmosphere this week, not for the first time this season. I always feel like the offensive line is the group that's under the most pressure when you're in these loud environments. How do you feel like they've handled it so far in the 3 road games to date?
Yeah, we've done a pretty good job. We played pretty penalty-free, which is one thing, that definitely plagued us last year, some on the road. So we've definitely played a lot cleaner. Considering all the different lineup changes and all that, I feel like we've handled it pretty well. We missed some opportunities last week, and that we definitely want back. I thought we pass probed pretty well, but we weren't nearly as clean in the run game as we have played, and so that'll be a big challenge for us against this group. And yeah, like you said, you're going to a place that has obviously a phenomenal home atmosphere and has for a long time. Got the sellout streak and all they've done. It's been a long time since I've been there. We played a lot back in the old Texas Tech days. We had a lot of pretty cool battles with these guys, both in Lubbock and in Lincoln. And so, I have a lot of respect for the program, the home venue that they have, the home field advantage, the atmosphere. It's a phenomenal place. It'll be a cool opportunity for our team.
Coach, when you initially saw me and you walked in the room, did you think more Wizard of Oz or Batman villain?
I got to be honest, Wizard of Oz.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Well, you nailed it
all morning. So
you nailed it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Coach.
Coach, we've seen flashes of how good this defense can be, and they can. And the coaches are there, the players are there to do that. How do they take that next step and just become a little bit more consistent?
It's the word you said right there. I mean, I think what great defenses do. You make your fair share of plays, but you don't give teams freebies.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, I think that to me is the number one key for us. I mean, we're in all these games, we're making some big impactful plays. Like we're making those. I mean, our ability to turn the ball over in the red zone, we got the nation's leader in interceptions right now. Like we've had a lot of sacks. I mean, like we're making enough big plays to play really, really good defensively. Now I think it's like, the really great defenses, they don't give offenses anything. You make them earn every single yard, every single point, every single first down, because that wears on offenses. When you're having to grind for every single thing and those margins feel so thin, man, it's tough. And we've obviously had some games where we've done that very well. I think that's the key for us really going forward is, continue to make some of the big game-changing plays that we've made. And then we've got from an assignment standpoint, a gap integrity standpoint, leveraging the football, we cannot give freebies. We got to make people earn every single bit. And when we do that, we play pretty darn good defense.
Yeah.
Coach Keeley has her crack research team on it, but you might be the first coach coming up here to coach in a city that shares his first name. This is Lincoln going to Lincoln here. Just something to think about.
That.
Going to make some history potentially this week.
Do with that information what you will this week.
We'll talk to Coach about that game coming up. USC Nebraska is Saturday, 4:30 Pacific time kick. Trojan Tailgate Show will go on at 2:30 here in the Pacific time zone. The game is on NBC. Let's talk about the Trojans versus the Cornhuskers next on Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody Kessler, and head coach Lincoln Riley here on Trojans Live. All right, Coach, we're headed to Lincoln, Nebraska. This is, obviously so much history. You grew up sort of in that area, so you're probably steeped in it for sure. But just on the field, what do you see from the Cornhuskers?
Yeah, I think they've continued to improve, which is, I think no surprise for those that have, followed them, lately with Coach Rule being there. And then obviously his career, he's had a, really strong history of being able to elevate these programs. So, we had a good battle with them here last year. I think they're, they're a different team this year, certainly. They had a coordinator change defensively. Obviously, the offensive coordinator, Coach Holgerson, who obviously know very, very well. That was his first game, last year, and so you could tell. I'm sure both himself, the offensive staff, the offense, the quarterback, all of them, I think, are a little bit more settled. I'm sure, and have had a little bit more time together, and so you've seen that show up. They're doing well. I mean, they're playing very well defensively. One of the top pass defenses in the country. They've really done a nice job mixing things up, and they're making a lot of big plays offensively. Have had some big returns here as well in the last few weeks from a special teams perspective. So now they're playing good ball. I mean, it'll be a good challenge. The challenge going into that place at night. It's an important game for both teams, so it'll be a fun challenge.
Coach, Dylan Raiola gets a lot of attention when you talk about their team, but I think when the offense is really rolling for them, it's Emmett Johnson. The run game is getting going. What have you seen from that run game from their attack?
Yeah, they've really, committed to it. They've committed to it. They've stayed with it, and you could tell they have a lot of confidence in getting him the ball. And the thing they've really done a great job of is just yards after contact. Both the backs. Johnson obviously has done a great job of it, but then, the receivers have as well. And a lot of their big plays, when you go back and watch it, there's people there to tackle them, and these guys are coming out of tackles, making plays down the field. And so that'll be a really important part for our defense is to contain it, to play very gap sound, and then we got to finish the plays and get these guys on the ground because that's kind of been the thing that's really spurred them here the last several weeks.
Coach, throughout the season that there's going to be a lot of highs, but as we all know, playing this sport, you're also going to get punched in the mouth. And the most important part is how you respond. And you guys have already done that once. What's been your message this week for your team or how they handle adversity getting ready to go play Nebraska?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've proved we can handle it. I think this second bye week came at a really good time for our football team. And, yeah, it's like you look forward and you've got this closing stretch with so many things in front of you right now. And, you're teed up to go play some of your best ball. I think guys from a health standpoint, we're probably a little further along than we've been here in a while.
Yeah.
Which is so we're taking some small steps there, which is good. And I think we've learned a lot about ourselves. And, yeah, this is what you do it all for, right? Like you want to enter – there's two types of teams, right? There's teams that enter the second half of the season with really no hope to do what they set out to do, and there's ones that have earned the right to have everything in front of them. And fortunately, our teams put themselves in that position. And so, yeah, I mean, this is the part you love. This is the most fun part of the season. These are the most fun games. I think our team is excited and confident. We know there's some things that we have to do better, but we feel like those are things that we can do better, we will do better, that we're in control of, and we're a confident, excited team to not just play this one, but to just go into this closing stretch.
Love it.
You're listening to head coach Lincoln Riley on Trojans Live. Sean mentioned Dylan Raiola, the Nebraska quarterback. Interesting stats just looking at them. They've given up a lot of sacks, but they also get a lot of explosives out of the pass game. They're second in the Big Ten in pass plays of 30 yards or more. Is it one of those situations where you better get him before he gets you, and there's a lot of onus on the pass rush to protect the back end a little bit?
Yeah, he's the type of player that is going to take some chances. He's got some escapability, both in his movement skills and that he's just a big kid. You see, guys around him sometimes and not being able to get him to the ground. You're going to have some opportunities to get him down, and you need to get it. And then you got to do a great job staying in coverage on the back end, whether you're in man and or zone coverage when this guy scrambles, because he is going to scramble with his eyes down the field and try to make some big plays there. So, yeah, anytime a guy's going to take those chances, you've got to make the plays when you get them, and we've got to keep a lid on him if he does ever get loose from us. And that'll be a big part of the game because it's something that really drives them.
Coach, I spent the weekend thinking about my outfit and how you would respond to it. What did you spend the weekend doing? How was your weekend? Did you watch some ball games, a little bye week action? How was your weekend?
Yeah, bye week was good. We got to get out on the road recruiting, so did a couple of out-of-state trips. Got to go watch some high school football, which was awesome. Got some game plan work here through the weekend, and then Saturday we were able to spend some time with some friends and family, watch some games, nice. Catch our breath a little bit, and then Sunday morning we're back at it. That's it.
Well, this is a fun one, guys. This is two of the great college football programs in the history of the sport. USC versus Nebraska in Lincoln on a sold-out Saturday night. 4:30 p.m. Pacific time will be our kick, and we will go on at 2:30 with the Trojan Tailgate Show, and Coach will be back next week to break it down with us. Coming up next on the show, we've got one of the leaders on this team. He always joins me on the center circle for the captains. It's Hank Pepper, long snapper, coming up on Trojans Live.